For this film, it came out in a year that I was very excited about. 2015 was a movie year that I was just so excited about. Um, One of my favorite actors won an Academy Award, Leonardo DiCaprio for The Revenant, and another movie didn't get nominated for anything, but I thought it was my favorite movies of the year was Black Mass, Johnny Depp as Whitey Bulger. I also think that was a great film. It was like a comeback for him at the time because he was just coming off of, let's say, Lone Ranger, Transcendence, and some other strange film called Mordecai or something. Kind of not really, Johnny Depp favorites right there, but that was a great performance by him that year. But one of my other favorite films of that year, which I wish got more Academy Award nominations, was Straight Outta Compton. I mean, this film was just absolutely just amazing. Definitely impressed by the directing, the acting, the casting. It was just also top notch too. And I know this film was also very controversial between, a lot being left out of the real story. If you're a big fan of the West Coast hip hop scene and then N.W.A. in particular, you know what's what if you follow a lot of the backstories of went on there. But just as a film itself, I mean, you can always say, especially in a true story, could have done this, could have done that. But I think, though, I also go by, is it a good film or not? Which it still is a great film. I know there's a lot behind it where they left out the relationships with the women that went on, and and I know they didn't really get into the beef too much that Eazy E had with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, and like Ruthless Records and Death Row Records, the big beef they had on there. I mean, they had the part where Suge Knight strong-armed Eazy E into signing papers to release Dr. Dre from his label or what have you, but just either way, which way you want to put it, of how historically accurate it is just such a great film. And I especially think great performance by Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr. That was just, I mean, what could be a better breakout role to play like your iconic rap figure of a father, Ice Cube, for like a first movie. And he's done some other great movies after that, following that. So I was very impressed by them. And I would say Jason Mitchell as Eazy E was also amazing because, I know those were some tough shoes to fill. That particular character going from a drug dealer to a world famous rapper and then unfortunately passing away of HIV. It's just, that's a lot of shoes to fill, especially in one movie too. And one of the biggest things that impressed me about it too was the directing. The director being F. Gary Gray, because that was the director of Friday, and he's done some other films, some great films too, that I'm a fan of, like Set It Off, for example. And he also went on to direct one of the Fast and Furious franchise movies. I believe it was called The Fate of the Furious, or whichever, grossed over $1 billion. So that was another kind of milestone he hit there. But I think it's very impressive to go from making a movie like Friday to then doing this hip-hop biopic film, such as Straight Outta Compton. Who he also had a history with Ice Cube before, so definitely had the right man for the job there. And really, I know it got nominated for Best Original Screenplay, or no, Best Adapted Screenplay, whichever, which is fine, but, again, if I was president of the Academy, or if I had it my way, I would definitely give definitely Best Director, definitely, for sure. Or, acting, that's kind of a slippery slope there, because, actually what I would have put there, if anything, one of the actors, Paul Giamatti as Jerry Heller, the manager, him for sure. He was just mind-blowing in that. It was just incredible because he was one of definitely the big characters in that, going from signing them to him being in the middle of them, like being brutalized by the police, to the controversial music that they made, to the relationship that he had with Eazy E and the rest of the group, and the financial issues that came with sales and all that. It was just, everything about the film was just mind blowing, absolutely stunning. Between what life was like in Compton, between tension with the police, between the rise and fall of fame. It's just what a life all these people had. And I also don't want to forget the one who played Dr. Dre. His performance as well was also amazing. And I know there's a lot of controversy behind that because there were some things I know that they left out. But also, you got to remember this too, though. If you are like Dre or Cube and all that, you're producing the film itself. Obviously, there's a lot of things you don't want to be represented as. They're going to want to, try to show themselves in the most positive way possible. But, it's still a great film, of course, and every performance was just great. Oh yeah, the name of the actor who played Dr. Dre, Corey Hawkins. It just occurred to me. Corey Hawkins was also great too. And I've always been a big N.W.A fan and just West Coast hip hop, just in general. I remember when I was 14, which was in 2008, quite a while before the film came out. I was already big into that category of music, and looking back on N.W.A, like the first time hearing the song itself, Straight Outta Compton and F the Police and just all kinds of their other hits, was just like, wow. You just never heard a massive hip hop group like that to just explode, on records like that. Just held nothing back. The brutal honesty and just the fierceness of it all was just amazing. And who they influenced as far as the gangster rap category as a whole was also just, I don't know, it's the whole thing was mind blowing, like I said. But I really loved how they portrayed them, and I think that also kind of set a whole other category of making biopics on rappers too. Because before then, I know you had the Notorious B.I.G. movie, which was good. I definitely say no, it was good, but I definitely feel that as far as the hip hop category goes, as far as making a biopic on them, this one definitely set the new standard. Definitely, for sure. And again, I wish it was nominated for more Academy Awards, but again, I don't think that's what defines a movie as it is. But again, if I had my own way, I would definitely have nominated it for more Academy Awards. But I know that year too, in that same year, there was a good director and other performances that I did agree with. Because again, I think that 2015 in particular was a great time for films. My ones that I pick personally was The Revenant, Black Mass, The Hateful Eight, and this really big one, probably my favorite of all of them, was Straight Outta Compton. Like, once the trailer came out, it was a red band trailer, which showed like all the uncut like versions of everything. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be good. The second I watched it, I was already ready to go to the movies to see it. But I agreed with who they picked for best director that year. Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu for The Revenant, which was, again, a great film. But, just my opinion again. But yeah, if you like any biopic movies on any musicians and hip hop in particular, definitely watch Straight Outta Compton, for sure. And I'm also a big fan of other hood movies too. It's kind of like, what's also interesting about it, it is like a biopic film on music, but it's also, if you like any of the other like gritty hood movies too, like for example, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, of course Friday, obviously, also a comedy, stoner comedy, or New Jack City, for example. Any of those type of movies, this is definitely one to see. So I highly recommend it. And I'll also say one of my other favorite parts about the film was just how they portrayed every like part of each person's life. Like they didn't shy away too much from how harsh it was growing up in Compton and what it would be like to be famous or any of that. But anyway, it's a great film. Highly recommend it. Like and subscribe.